Alright, let's set the stage. Think of this like a boxing match, and I want you to know who's in each corner before the first punch is thrown. In the first corner, we have the DJI Mini 5 Pro. This is the drone that most people buy when they want incredible image quality in a lightweight, foldable, travel-friendly package. It shoots natively in vertical for social media. It's whisper quiet compared to its competition, and the camera sensor, a full 1 inch, is genuinely impressive for a drone this size. It's the reliable veteran of this lineup, the one that rarely lets you down. In the second corner, the DJI Avata 2. This is the FPV drone, the adrenaline junkie of the group. It flies fast, it flies wild, and it creates footage that makes people stop scrolling. But it demands skill, full manual mode, fast reflexes, and a pilot who isn't afraid to push limits. It's not for everyone, but when it's right, it's spectacular. And in the third corner, the brand new challenger, the DJI Avata 360. This is DJI's most experimental drone to date. It combines the immersive experience of FPV flying with the creative flexibility of a 360-degree camera, 2 lenses, 2 sensors, a whole new way of capturing the world from above. And it comes with questions, big ones. Is it a gimmick? Is it the future? Is it actually better than the proven options? That's what we're here to find out. Let's start the clock. The photography test. Let's kick things off with something people don't talk about enough when it comes to drones: photography. Because yes, video gets all the attention, but photos are still a massive part of what most content creators and travelers actually use their drones for. Now, the Mini 5 Pro is genuinely excellent at photos. That 1-inch sensor captures stunning detail, beautiful dynamic range, and handles harsh lighting conditions better than almost any drone in its class. You can also shoot 360-degree panoramic photos with it, but here's the catch. It has to photograph the scene in a sequence, rotating around and stitching images together. On a calm day, that works great. On a windy day, or with a moving subject, good luck getting a clean result. It's time-consuming and honestly a little stressful. The Avata 360 takes an entirely different approach. Because it has 2 lenses covering the full sphere simultaneously, it captures a complete 360-degree photo in 1 instant. No sequence, no stitching delay, no chance of movement ruining the shot. And those spherical photos, they come in at a remarkable 120 megapixels, which means when you reframe and crop to a specific angle in post, you're still working with plenty of resolution to produce a sharp, usable image. That's a genuinely useful advantage in real-world conditions. Now, in terms of raw photo quality, I'll be honest with you, the Mini 5 Pro still edges ahead. The detail and color rendition from that 1-inch sensor is hard to beat. But here's the thing that the spec sheet doesn't tell you. With the Avata 360, you can shoot first and frame later. You capture the entire scene, then decide in post whether you want a landscape, a portrait, a square crop, whatever works best for the platform you're posting to. That creative flexibility has genuine practical value, and for a lot of creators, that trade-off is absolutely worth it. The creative battle. Okay, this is the section I've been most excited to show you. And this right here is the reason why the Avata 360 is not, let me repeat, not a gimmick. Let me set the scene. I flew the Avata 360 in a straight lateral path alongside a row of buildings. 1 line, 1 direction, 1 take. Then I brought that footage into DJI Studio, and using keyframes to reframe the 360 footages, I pulled out 6 completely different shots. A wide establishing shot, a tight tracking shot, a low-angle reveal, a backward pull, an overhead bird's-eye perspective, and a smooth side pan. 6 shots from 1 single flight. That is genuinely game-changing for solo content creators. Because right now, if you're flying a traditional drone and you want 6 different angles, you need 6 different flights, 6 battery charges, and 6 windows of perfect conditions. With the Avata 360, you fly once, and you edit your angles afterwards. It's the closest thing to having a full film crew in a single drone. Now, let's talk about a shot that every drone pilot knows. The classic fly forward and tilt-up reveal. It's iconic, it's cinematic, and on a traditional drone, you have to nail the tilt timing perfectly while managing your altitude and flight path simultaneously. Mess up the timing? Fly the whole thing again. On the Avata 360, that tilt is entirely done in post. You fly the path and you animate the camera direction afterwards. Could not be simpler. But here's where I have to be straight with you, because I don't believe in sugarcoating. The raw video quality of the Avata 360 does not match the Mini 5 Pro. It's a trade-off trade-off that is fundamental to how 360 cameras work. Spreading the resolution across a full sphere means any given angle gets less of that total resolution than a dedicated lens pointing in one direction. The footage looks great, especially in bright outdoor light. But if maximum image quality is your top priority, the Mini 5 Pro still wins that argument. What the Avata 360 offers instead is maximum creative flexibility, and depending on the kind of content you make, that might matter far more. FPV mode and goggles test. Alright, story time. And I promise this is relevant to your buying decision. I strapped on the Goggles 3, fired up the Avata 360 and 360 stabilized modes, and took off feeling extremely confident. Too confident as it turns out. Because flying FPV while watching a 360-degree feed in goggles is a deeply disorienting experience if you're not prepared for it. Your sense of direction gets scrambled. You lose your spatial awareness. And before my brain had time to catch up, the drone flew straight into a tree. I am not proud of this, but I am going to be honest about it because it tells you something important. There is a learning curve here. And anyone who says otherwise hasn't actually flown this thing. The good news? The Avata 360 is built for exactly this kind of abuse. I swapped out the cracked lens cover in under 3 minutes using the included suction cup tool, unscrewed the holder, popped in a fresh lens, recalibrated, and was back in the air. That repairability is a genuinely thoughtful design decision from DJI, and it deserves real credit. After practice, real practice, not just one flight, I got comfortable flying with the goggles, and the shots became genuinely impressive. The head tracking feature is something I want to specifically call out because compared to how head tracking works on the Avata 2, where the entire drone has to physically turn to point the camera, the Avata 360 implementation is on a completely different level. Your head moves, your view moves, the drone stays on its flight path. It's smooth, intuitive, and actually useful for creative framing decisions. My single biggest disappointment? No full manual flying mode. The motors apparently aren't powerful enough to support it. For those who love manual FPV, the kind of flying that gives you insane dives, rolls, and altitude changes, that door is closed on the Avata 360. I genuinely hope DJI addresses this in a future firmware update. For now, it's a real limitation that fans of the Avata 2 will feel. The tracking features face off. If you've ever tried to film yourself doing something, running, cycling, surfing, skateboarding, without a dedicated camera operator, you know the struggle. You set up your drone, hit record, and hope the auto track feature keeps you in frame. Sometimes it does, sometimes it absolutely does not. So, how do these 3 drones handle the tracking challenge? The Mini 5 Pro's tracking suite is excellent. Spotlight mode lets you lock a box around your subject and fly freely while the camera stays glued to them. Active track goes further, letting you draw predefined movement paths on the map, or switch on the auto mode where the drone choreographs its own cinematic movements around your subject. For a consumer drone, this is seriously impressive and works reliably in real-world conditions. The Avata 360 matches the Mini 5 Pro feature for feature on standard tracking, and then surpasses it in one key area: speed. The Avata 360 can execute active tracking at significantly higher speeds, which means it can actually keep up with fast-moving subjects in a way that the Mini 5 Pro sometimes struggles with. But the real showstopper is the Avata 360's free spotlight mode, a feature previously exclusive to the DJI Inspire 3, a drone that costs over 10 times as much. In free spotlight, the screen is split. The top shows where the drone is physically facing, and the bottom shows what the 360 camera is actually recording, which can be pointing in a completely different direction. This lets you focus entirely on flying the drone while the camera independently tracks your subject. The result? I flew the drone at full speed directly over the top of a moving car, and the 360 camera kept the car locked perfectly in the center of frame the entire time. That shot would have been borderline impossible with any other consumer drone. It is, without question, one of the most impressive features I have tested all year. Battery life and practical specs. Let's talk about the numbers that actually matter when you're out in the field, because there is nothing more frustrating than being mid-shot and hearing that low battery warning cutting through your earphones. I ran a proper hover test on all 3 drones. Same conditions, same altitude, hovered until each drone hit critical battery and force landed itself. No cheating, no variables. And I want to be upfront here. DJI's official advertised numbers are tested in controlled, windless lab environments, so you should always expect real-world results to be lower. That said, here is what the numbers actually look like. The Avata 2 officially claims up to 23 minutes of flight time, and in real-world conditions, most pilots, myself included, find you land somewhere in the 15 to 18-minute range, depending on how hard you're pushing it. The Avata 360 also officially claims up to 23 minutes, with real-world flights landing closer to 18 to 20 minutes, a slight edge over the Avata 2 in practice, which makes sense given its larger battery capacity. So, those two are in the same ballpark. Then the Mini 5 Pro, and this is where the gap becomes dramatic. DJI officially rates it at up to 36 minutes on the standard battery, with real-world numbers typically coming in around 20 to 25 minutes. And if you upgrade to the Plus battery, DJI claims up to 52 minutes, with real-world testing by multiple reviewers putting it solidly around 40 minutes of usable flight. That is a massive advantage. If you're shooting in a remote location where recharging isn't an option, that gap between 18 minutes and 40 minutes is not a minor inconvenience. It fundamentally changes how you plan your shoot. On the sensor side, the Mini 5 Pro carries the largest at 1 full inch. The Avata 360 runs a 1/1.1 inch sensor, and the Avata 2 comes in at 1/1.3 inches. Bigger sensors generally mean better low-light performance and more dynamic range, so this ranking does reflect the video quality hierarchy we see in real-world testing. One area where the Avata 360 loses points clearly is noise. The Mini 5 Pro is impressively quiet, almost gentle, which matters enormously if you're filming in public spaces, near wildlife, or in locations where a loud drone would disturb the environment. The Avata 360 is the loudest and most high-pitched of the three. It's not unbearable, but it's noticeable, and it's something you need to factor in based on where and how you shoot. On obstacle avoidance, this is actually a meaningful area of difference between all three drones that doesn't get talked about enough. The Avata 2, importantly, does not have traditional omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. It uses downward and backward visual positioning sensors, which are great for stable hovering and precise positioning, but they are not the same as full collision detection. If you fly the Avata 2 into a wall at speed, it will hit that wall. That's the trade-off of the FPV category. Obstacle avoidance and pure speed don't coexist well. The Avata 360 is a different story. It features full omnidirectional obstacle sensing, including 2 forward-facing LiDAR sensors alongside infrared and vision sensors, giving it genuine 360-degree hazard detection in all directions. The forward detection in particular is genuinely excellent. However, I want to flag something that surprised me in testing. Even with obstacle avoidance fully enabled, the drone still flew into me twice when moving backwards toward a moving subject. After testing different scenarios, the pattern became clear. The sensors can struggle with objects that are themselves moving toward the drone simultaneously, creating a relative speed that the detection system doesn't always calculate in time. This is worth knowing before you fly it around fast-moving subjects or in crowded environments. Portability and build quality. Let's talk about the real-world practicality of actually owning and traveling with these drones, because a drone that lives in your cupboard because it's too much hassle to bring along is a pretty expensive paperweight. The Avata 360 is slightly larger in footprint than the Avata 2, though it's a bit thinner, an intentional design choice to accommodate those dual 360 lenses without adding too much bulk. When you place it next to the Mini 5 Pro unfolded, the sizes are actually fairly comparable, but fold everything up and the picture changes dramatically. The Mini 5 Pro, when folded, is substantially smaller than either Avata drone. It slips into a jacket pocket. It fits in a small daypack pouch. It's genuinely portable in a way the FPV drones aren't. Weight is also a concrete factor worth putting numbers to. The Avata 360 comes in at approximately 455 grams with its battery, noticeably heavier than the Avata 2 at around 377 grams, and dramatically heavier than the Mini 5 Pro at just 249.9 grams. That weight difference affects not just how you carry it, but also regulatory requirements. The Avata 360 sights well above the sub-250-gram threshold that allows for less regulated flying in many countries. If you're trekking into remote locations, hopping between destinations, or flying in stricter airspace zones, every gram matter, and the Mini 5 Pro wins the portability and regulatory flexibility argument very convincingly. That said, build quality across all three drones is excellent. DJI's manufacturing standards are consistent and reliable, and all three drones feel premium in the hand. The Avata 360's dual lens design is well engineered, and the fact that the lenses can be replaced quickly and easily in the field, as I demonstrated with my tree incident, is a thoughtful piece of practical design that experienced pilots will genuinely appreciate. Beach flight footage. Showcase. Words can only do so much. So right now, I want to stop talking and just show you what these drones can actually produce when you take them somewhere beautiful and let them do what they were built to do. This is the same beach, same light, same conditions. 3 completely different drones and 3 very different creative results. Watch how the Mini 5 Pro renders the color of that water. Notice the smoothness in the tonal graduation from the sand to the sky. This is a camera that respects detail. It doesn't punch it up or over-process it. It just captures the scene with integrity and lets you shape it in edit. Now watch the Avata 2 come in low and fast. Feel the energy in that footage. It doesn't just show you the beach, it puts you inside it. There's an urgency and intimacy to FPV footage that no other style of drone film can replicate. It's a completely different emotional experience. And now, the Avata 360. Watch how, from a single flight path over the shoreline, I've reframed into 3 distinct shots: a wide aerial, a side-tracking view at eye level, and an upward-looking perspective toward the sky with the drone flying away from us. 3 emotionally different shots, 1 flight. That creative versatility is a genuinely new capability in consumer drones, and seeing it play out in real footage rather than a marketing video, this is where it starts to make sense. The question was never really which drone makes the best footage. The question is which drone makes your footage, the shots that serve your creative vision and your audience. And hopefully by now you're starting to have a clearer sense of which that is for you. The final verdict. All right, we have put these 3 drones through everything: photography, video quality, FPV flying, tracking features, battery life, portability, and a couple of unplanned crash tests. It's time to stop dancing around it and give you a straight answer. If you are a travel content creator, a landscape photographer, or someone who prioritizes image quality above everything else, buy the Mini 5 Pro. It has the best camera, the longest battery life, the quietest motors, and the most portable form factor of the 3. It is a mature, reliable, exceptional drone that will make your content look professional on any platform. The fact that it shoots natively in vertical for Reels and TikTok is a genuine bonus in today's social media landscape. If you are an FPV pilot who wants the absolute most dynamic, high-energy cinematic footage possible, the Avata 2 is still your drone. Full manual mode is a creative superpower that the Avata 360 simply doesn't offer right now. The freedom to dive, roll, and fly at full speed with complete physical control over the aircraft produces footage that no amount of in-camera reframing can fully replicate. If that kind of flying excites you, the Avata 2 delivers it more completely. And if you are a solo content creator who needs maximum creative output from minimum time in the field, the Avata 360 is genuinely exciting. The ability to extract 6 distinct shots from one take, combined with free spotlight tracking and that extraordinary field of view flexibility, makes it a productivity tool as much as a camera drone. Yes, the image quality has a ceiling. Yes, there's a learning curve. Yes, you might fly it into a tree your first time out. But the creative possibilities it unlocks are real. And for run-and-gun creators who can't afford to reshoot, those possibilities are worth a lot. The DJI Avata 360 is not a gimmick, but it's also not the right drone for everyone. It's a specialist tool for a specific type of creator. And if that creator is you, it might just be the best purchase you make this year. If this video helped you make a decision, or even just taught you something new about what modern drones can do, the best thing you can do for this channel is hit that subscribe button right now, because we have more in-depth drone tests, camera comparisons, and real-world gear reviews coming that you do not want to miss. And drop a comment below. Which of these 3 drones are you buying and why? I read every single one. I'll see you in the next video.